Oh, I tell you, I apologize, guys. Um, yeah, it's been a day, and work's not the reason why. So give me a second here. I don't have the camera on me tonight again because I was not able to get into the shower again because I tell you, all right, hold on. Let me get where's my mouse? Let me get on live chat rather than that. And let me get my phone kind of like all lined up. Get some lights on here so we can see. And let me just put my little leveler here on my phone so I can get everything kind of lined up. It looks good. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah. So today there was something that I had ordered last weekend that I don't know about you, but I don't like not knowing up front when you like say when you order something from somebody and they like who is it that they primarily use for doing their shipping. So last year, and I kind of brought these out at one point to kind of show everybody, was the color cubes that Sarah Renee Clark had created. This is those colored cubes where they have the cards in it with the color combinations. So earlier, what was the last weekend? I had gotten an email, plus I saw it on on YouTube actually. There was a new video that she had changed them up. So they were modified a little bit, and there's actually 2 additional volumes to it. So there's 4 volumes all together now with the new revamped and reworked color cubes. So I ordered them. So when I looked at how it was shipped the last time when I got the first 2, it was done by UPS. So I figure, okay, UPS, when it ships, I can do the whole, have it redirected, to the UPS store and it would be all good. It wouldn't be coming directly here. However, after it was shipped by Amazon shipping, and it's like great. So it was being delivered today, and I don't like when I don't know exactly when it's going to show up. And it was after 5. I still didn't have it, and I'm thinking, okay. They said that it could be like up to 7:45, and I'm like, please don't let it be like near 7. It's got to be earlier. Well, it finally showed up at just after 6, so that's good on that aspect. Then it turned out that uh again, a paper pumpkin, a replacement paper pumpkin from September that was going to be sent evidently had this address on it, and they tried to deliver it and then saw, okay, you got the what do you call it, the mail forwarding. So instead of just bringing it back to the post office and then putting it in my mailbox, no, they shipped it all the way back to Utah. So with that, it was like, okay, so then I call them to now get another one sent. Yeah, this time when I gave her, figuring it's going to go to the post office, I figured, okay, let me give them the special delivery address. I gave it to her, and she did not understand me clearly because the street address, the street name, it should have said Elmore Park, and she put Elmore Clark. So of course, last week, the second half of the week, it was that the free shipping. So they had a huge call volume. So of course, you'd be on hold for a long time. You can request a call back. And so I did that the one time, the first time. And then the second time I had to call them back. As a matter of fact, I think it was before I came on here last Friday, and I needed to get it, taken care of because I wanted to make sure that it was going to get to its destination. Well, she said that she was fixing it, but of course I don't see it fixed, on my end. Don't mind me. I need to pull out my PDF because I didn't have a chance to get everything completely set up, and so this is all the PDFs that are out there in on my Google Drive. So I called them back. She said, okay, she's going to fix it. I don't see on my end that it's fixed, but I end up calling back again, and they said, okay, it is fixed, even though I wasn't able to see it. So Friday too, and as a matter of fact, this was at the same time, Yvonne, that I was on the phone with you last Friday. That so I placed an order with Stampin' Up, and I ordered the stuff that I got is pretty much some of the new what do you call it? The new online exclusive stuff that's going to go live uh well for November. And so when I went to place the order, I noticed that when it came to to choose the shipping address, I saw that my address was like completely jacked up. It had a combination of the special delivery address for the post office along with my apartment number tied to it. And it's like, okay, that's not right. So I fixed it. I fixed it to be what it was supposed to be before I hit submit. Then it shipped yesterday. And usually after it ships, I click on that tracking number. And since I have that UPS My Choice premium, I can click on a thing to change the delivery. I can have it go to the UPS store, boom, and it's done, no problem. Well, this time, for some reason, when I tried to do that, it was basically telling me that I needed to create an account and all that, but I already had it. So I went through the hassle of trying to understand what's going on. And again, the order form on the website had the address it needed to have. And when I went to call them, first off, being on hold for who knows how long, then I talked to one person, again, Indian accents, not US accents. Um, I explain, then she goes to transfer me over to like some kind of like technical group. Then I get somebody. Oh, then she's going and sending me to the technical group. And ultimately, in the end, even though what I see should be correct, she evidently, what she sees on her end is the actual special delivery address going to the post office. So now at least I know where it's going. Now the thing is, we know I got that love-hate relationship with the post office because if they don't have my package, even though I see it's delivered, I'm gonna be livid. I will absolutely be livid because that means now you don't have it. So now I got to go back to Stampin' Up and tell them I don't have it. I don't want to go through this nonsense, but I tried to go and call them before coming on here, thinking it was going to be a quick call. Unfortunately, no, it wouldn't have been. So I just hung up. So I gotta get them to stop messing with the address, and because what I put in there, that's what should be in there because I don't want these issues going forward. So it's just been a nightmare in regards to between like shipping address, waiting for things to show up, having them show up before I had to go live. Plus, I couldn't leave things out there because, again, I couldn't have my color cube order go disappearing because I don't know what they would do if it turned out someone took the package. I don't know if they would replace them because I will be honest with you, these weren't cheap. And again, there's not just 2 volumes, there are 4 volumes now. So, yeah, it's just been work-wise, it was quiet, it wasn't too bad. It's just all this other nonsense. So, hopefully the rest of this night is gonna go much better. But again, I don't have the camera on me because again, I was hoping to either get in the shower on my lunch break or like right after work. However, that wasn't the case. So I apologize for that. Hopefully come next Friday, I'll be in a much better place. We'll see what happens. But so for those, well, not everybody celebrates it. It's October 31st. It's Halloween. I should not have anybody knocking on my door looking for candy because typically you don't do that with an apartment. Hello, Terry. Um, so yeah, so other than that, that's pretty much kind of like what happened with today. As far as getting things done, that worked perfectly. And I do want to show you, well, I want to do a little show and tell actually. So I had mentioned like a while back that I was looking to get back into doing some cross stitching. So I found this free little chart off of a cross stitch designers Facebook group. And so I printed out the little freebie and I stitched it up. I got it done last night. So I think it came out super cute. And I know Halloween's not for everybody, but I like cutesy Halloween. And that's kind of like what we're also doing tonight. So it's a cutesy Halloween thing. But I get it. Some people don't like it. I know that Froggy doesn't. And speaking of that, Froggy, I did get the cards, all mailed out. And what I did, so last Saturday, here it was chilly, it was breezy, it was rainy. So it was the perfect, perfect, perfect in my opinion, a crafty day. So, one of the cards that I made, so the first card, the layout that I made, of course, everything was what do you call it? It was it Fright Night. So Froggy had chosen really it was the layout of card number 1. So I created a card to that was basically the same layout, but it was not a Halloween card. So totally different color combination. And so this is what the picture's not that great, but this is kind of like um how it came out. So here is the original card that I did. And here's the card that I made. Now, one of the other things that I did, I've been constantly looking at my 2 color cubes sitting on my calyx unit. You usually see it, behind me when I got the camera on me. So I decided, you know what, let me go through there and pick out a color combination. And so this printout is not giving it justice, but the colors here on what I saw from looking at the card, early espresso, Cajun craze, pumpkin pie, old olive, and crumb cake. So it's kind of like the colors I did there. And when it came to these flowers, this particular stamp, that stamp set that's in the holiday mini catalog, it's the one that's kind of like a blossom. It's got blossoms in it, but you can stamp it all together as one, like for a background. But then you can also take it apart and you can stamp the individual blooms. Um, Yeah, where is it? Hold on. Uh, ornamental branching out, pumpkins. There it is. Petal, petal arrangements. So this is the one where if you keep it intact, you know, it's you can do like a background, but then it is kind of die cut so you can separate it and you can stamp the individual blooms that are in here. So this was the one that I used. And then when I went to color it, what I did was I took the regular Stampin' Right markers and ooh, Terry got a new car. I just saw that on my thing. What I did was I just used the markers and the bullet point, and I just did all these little dots. So I did the petals with pumpkin pie, and then the centers with like Cajun craze, and then I used old olive on on the leaves. And then what I did is I took um, a watercolor pencil and I just lightly filled it in. So I think was that called pointillism. So that's kind of like what I did for her card. So again, this printout, the picture itself is not doing it justice, but it came out really, really pretty. So this is the alternative to this. Now, also, I'm going to say that, okay, tonight we are using Spooky Sweet. So it's another Halloween themed video. So I'm going to do the same thing. You know, if when we do the wheel of names at the end, if you don't want what do you call it? If you don't want an actual Halloween card, then I will do something. Now, one of them I use basically the punch outs and things from the paper. So I may have to veer off of like the what do you call it? The layout of the card, but either way, if I choose you and you don't want the actual Halloween card. I will come up with something else. But you know what? I'll tell you what. When I went through these cards, I thought, you know, I bought these cards for the reason to help me figure things out. You know, as far as you know, creating color combinations and things like that. And I'll tell you what, after going through those, and then I actually did order the new set that I am definitely going to be using those more. So if I'm using any product that is not part of a suite and has designer series paper to it, I'm going to pull out these cards and that's going to be my inspiration. So next Thursday, I'm pulling out. I'm going way back on my Throwback Thursdays from when I kind of started. So one of the stamp sets, it was I think it's called Perfect Blend. So it was the one that had the sketchy type of um, a Mini Cooper. That's interesting. I would not have pictured Terry in a Mini Cooper. But cool. And it's a convertible, so she can put it down in her hair. And it's an island blue. Ooh, that's probably a pretty blue. Um, but what do you call it? So yeah, so perfect blend is what I'm going to do for Thursday, and then next Friday is going to be Fluffy Squirrel. I will let you know, Froggy, that I don't think it's going to be the following Friday. Maybe I think it's like the middle of November. I have put down that gingerbread man bundle, so that one is going to be on a Friday, but I think I have that slated for like the middle of this month. So that is coming. So I pulled out, you know, the stamp set. I pulled out that bundle, and I actually pulled out cards from the color cubes to use as inspiration for color combinations for the cards. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna put these to more use than just letting them just sit pretty on the shelf. So yeah, so that is that. A couple quick things. The starter kit special today is the last day for this. This ends at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. So whatever Mountain Time is, you know, compared to your time zone, it's either you can pay $35 and get $125 in product, or $99 and get 189. Um, that's okay, Terry. It's like, yeah, happy things, happy things happen, so that's okay. Um, so yeah, so today is the last day for this. And again, if building a business with this, doing videos, in-person classes and things like that is not your jam, um, you can become a demonstrator just to enjoy that, all the perks of being a demo. So getting the instant 20 to 25% instant discount. There are demonstrator only events. And what else? So they have in-person, virtual. You get to see the catalog before it goes live to customers. And you also get to pre-order some of that new product before it goes live too. So yeah, the online exclusives that's going to be going live, I think it's November 4th. Uh, I've got a couple of things coming, and that's, yeah, this order that was shipped that it's like I have no clue where it was going. Yeah, I do have some things that are in there. And actually, I do have a suite that's coming. It's part of the new stuff coming out in November, and it actually is the very same suite that Stampin' Up! Is gonna be using for their craft class in November. So I have that printed out, the information on it, but it's not gonna become available until that stuff in next Friday's video. The advent calendar, this is still available too. I don't think it's on low inventory. And I think, is that it? And then, yeah, the PDF for the projects that I am making tonight. This is already done. I actually got this stuff all done last weekend, so it was all good to go. This week, there was not staying up late on trying to get projects and stuff done for video content. Instead, I was just up late, working on other crafty stuff. So, but yeah, so the PDF has the pictures of the projects. I can never get certain colors to look right when I take a picture and then I go to print it out. But with the PDFs, this link right here, if you click on it, it is going to take you back to this video. Um, you got like the list of supplies. I have like dimensions of like the paper and cardstocks. And then if anything that was stamped, I let you know, okay, what color ink that I used. And so this is basically, it's a free resource if you like any of the projects and you want to go back and make any of them. There's a link for it just above the list of supplies. It'll take you to my Google Drive. There are, I want to say that there like 90 or just a little over 90 PDFs out there. So there are PDFs out there going all the way back to January 26th of 2024 when I first started doing Friday Night Live. So there's a whole lot of them out there. So if you want to check any of them out, it's there. And these are also free as well. Okay, so what we are using, let me kind of make room here. So what we are using tonight again is the Spooky Sweet Suite. And this week, it's a Spooky Halloween stamp set. Now you say spooky, but they're not spooky, they're cute. So you have the stamp set, and then there are some coordinating dies in here. So you do have a couple of dies that will die cut your stamped images, and then you have some little detailed pieces. And then there's this particular piece. I did die cut this to show you kind of like how this one works. It's basically it's really perfect for making like say a tab on something, or you can put it on a treat bag, which is another part of the suite. These are the iridescent treat bags. So you can see they are iridescent. So if you don't want to use them as treat bags, I actually took one of these bags and I kind of cut along the seams of it. And it's actually a piece that I'm using in, I think it's the final card that I make tonight. So you got the treat bags. Then there are the Shimmer Star foam stickers. And so you have a sheet, there's 3 different sizes. You have purple, black, and then there is also white in here. I know that yesterday was it yesterday? No, no, not yesterday. One of the days recently, it was saying that these were on low inventory. I think the paper is okay. Also, there is the Petunia Pop Iridescent Ribbon. So again, these were things like these embellishments and ribbons. I used this last week since that's only a bundle. And then also the what is it, the Spooky Sweet designer specialty designer series paper. So yep, this is part of the suite, so I brought this out as well. What's really cool, and this is what my first card's going to be, there's a sheet that actually has these panels in it that you can cut them down and you can use them for your card front. So basically my first card that I made, all of it is either I've used the panels, and I've also used the punch outs, and that's what makes this a specialty paper. There are 2 sheets in here that have like die cuts in it, so printed colored die cuts in it. So that's what I've used for my first card. So when I said about if you don't want a Halloween card and the first layout, it's not really a layout because I just basically use all of the pieces that's part of the paper. So that is the suite. So let me bring in my first project, and this one is a pretty simple project. So really the only stamping that's being done on this is what I'm stamping on the inside. And let me put my sample card there and let me pull out all of my pieces. And let's see, what do I need? What do I need? I need the stamp. So for this one, I'm going to pull out Happy Halloween. And also my, what is it? My pumpkin pie ink. So that the dies, when I was showing you one of the dies, so this is one of the dies right here. So it just kind of like looks like a little label type of thing, but it actually has these little pre-scored lines in it, and it die cuts the little bat. So what you can do with this, I mean, it's kind of small, but you can actually put this, like say, on the top of your treat bag if you wanted to. I thought that was pretty neat. So I'm not using this on any of my cards, but I wanted to just kind of show you what this particular die does. And then it does have slits on it, so if you want to run ribbon through it, you can do that too. So I thought that was kind of neat. So let's bring in Happy Halloween. The hippo is not a stamp. The hippo is actually one of the die cuts out of the paper. and it's a die cut. It's not like part of a print where um, you have to, you know, like fussy cut. Now, I'll tell you, so here's, so you kind of like have your little fairy cat. You got your hippos, so you got two that kind of face one direction, and then you got one that faces the other. And so you got all these are just these are all die cut. So you get 2 sheets of that. And surprisingly enough, I did not. There's a flamingo, and I thought about it, but then I also thought, you know what, I don't want a fussy cut. So I didn't use that particular print on this. So yeah, you get 2 sheets of those die cuts. They're both the same. They're not different. So yeah, so I've actually used quite a bit of this paper between last Friday and this Friday. So I'm kind of happy about that. You know, like I said, I'm getting a lot better on using my paper. Why is there something on there? Gotta clean it before I use it. So I'm getting better on using my paper instead of just hoarding all of it. But now I still got all this paper that I still have that I gotta use. Yeah, it is kind of cute. But so this particular card, this is a case. If you look at the website, it's one of the card samples that they have on the site. I think I did just change it up a little tiny bit. I think. Yeah, I changed it up a little bit because they did not have any of the embellishments on it at all. It was just all these pieces were on here. So I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. Yeah, let's see. What would have been a cool stamp is if they had a stamp of that flamingo. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments. Well, at some point, we got to figure out, I don't think you can do it on here, but at some point we got to see a picture of this. Oh, well, she could always email everybody a picture. Huh, Terry? Um, let's see. Question for anyone to answer. Is pecan pie a darker version of cinnamon cider? I don't have pecan pie. Okay, I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Cinnamon. Where are you, cinnamon? Okay. I will bring in cardstock to show you because I do have some of that, and it's right here. Oh. I always thought that cinnamon cider would be perfect for doing the gingerbread. So here's the difference. This is cinnamon cider here. This is pecan pie. So cinnamon cider looks more of like an orangey brown, so almost like a light rust. And then your pecan pie is a little more browner. So that's the cinnamon cider and pecan pie. So that's the difference between the two. Yeah, I would have pulled the ink pads, but the cardstock is a little bit better to show the difference. Okay, so my card base that is folded, my designer series paper. I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. You are welcome, Froggy. And I'm going to add some to this. Okay. And then I'll line this up on my card base. And hopefully I get this all lined up before it starts to dry. Let's shift into place. Press that down. Yeah, I contemplated on getting the new cubes, but then she also said that she also added some different products to it for color like the colors that she has. And one of those things was DMC floss. So I thought, wait a minute, I'm starting to get back into doing my cross stitching again. And I thought, you know what? I'm glad that that's included in there as well. So yeah, so it was one of the reasons. And plus, there's more color combinations to it. So yeah, so I'm definitely those Fridays and Thursdays, those videos I do when I have to create the cards. If it doesn't have designer series paper tied to it, because usually I'll go with those colors, I'm going to yeah, I'm going to use those to give me some inspiration for colors. And what's cool about it, you can do searches like, say animals or seasons or food, and so yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at the new ones quite yet because, again, it just showed up at 6 o'clock. And then at the same time, I was also on the phone with UPS. So I really didn't get a chance to look at any of it. So that's what I'll be doing after I'm done here. Okay, so now I know that I'm adding a little extra here, but this is going to be my card front panel, so I don't want this to be all saggy. I am going to be building on top of this. So how's everybody's week have gone so far? I know everybody kind of mentioned that things that they were doing last weekend. I definitely found myself back here in this room, again, creating and planning everything for these videos this week. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and I'm going to center this like so. Press that down. And then I'm going to take my hippo, add some more dimensionals to the back of this. Of course, you got white on white and it's hard to see. Hello, Renee. Welcome back. Okay, add that, and that. And I was wrong last week last weekend it was Deborah's birthday, but her birthday was actually on Sunday, not Saturday. And I thought, I was like, oh, it'll be tomorrow. No, it wasn't the day after. All right, so then I'm going to take my hippo and place it right there in the middle. And then on my little banner here, let me grab, oh, my stuff is like, my putty is like, in order to keep this in here and not fall out, I had to twist it a little bit. And so the putty was, so if you had watched it on World Card Making Day, I had done the, what was it? The handmade and heartfelt kit. And so I had bought an extra and I brought it to work the other day, and on our lunch break, my coworker Stephanie and myself, we started to put it together. So she actually put the box together. I showed her how to do that, And out of the 5 different cards, we got 2 of them done. So all of that is still there at work. Of course, my blocks and my take your pick tools and stuff, I brought all that home. So, but yeah, we were having an enjoyable time until, then we had to clean it up, and then it was about time to leave. And so, yeah, so it stayed there because it was also rainy that day as well. Oh, and I think this is gonna apply to everybody here, I think. Because I think is it only Arizona that doesn't do the whole time change? So yeah, so Saturday night, um before you go to bed, put your clocks back an hour. So now it means that it's going to get darker sooner, and I can tell you that I'm not too keen over the fact that if it's a day that I have to drive to the office, that basically it's going to be almost dark or pretty much close to dark by the time I go to leave there. So, oh, parts of Illinois doesn't? Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just Arizona. Interesting. I learn something new every day. Thank you for that, Renee. Okay. So we got that. All right. So got a lot of things are popped up on this card. So we're going to add our bats. Oh, and I'll make mention of this too. So was it last Saturday? I think it was. Yeah, last Saturday. I had put together and did a video as I did it of that haunted home. And yes, I had mentioned that they recommended like a hot glue gun, and I can see it being a little challenging trying to put the roof part on there, especially when you got all these little bits and pieces that are kind of like folded over and yeah. But I was watching what Janet Wakeland had done, and what she did was she put it together using extra tear and tape. So I used a lot of tear and tape on it. However, yeah, the roof part that's for the front of that house is starting to come unstuck. So, yeah, now I'm going to have to kind of go back, and I guess I'm going to have to use the hot glue gun on that thing. I have it sitting out there on my dining room table. I got these little amber colored tea lights underneath it, and it's kind of neat. I just have to put it together so it's not falling apart. Okay, so let me grab um, a foam mat so that way we can stamp our greeting on the inside. And let me close up my glue because we don't need that right now. Pumpkin pie and happy Halloween. Like so. Okay. So very, very simple card, just basically using all these paper pieces. Now we do have to add some decoration to it. So I wanted to try, when I do these cards, and it's a suite, I like to try and use all of the elements of the suite. So on this one, even though there was no, on their sample, there was no ribbon used, there was none of those foam stars, I wanted to add some to this. So with this hippo, because the image is kind of small, I don't want a very big bow. I want something kind of small. So I had to do a little bit of back and forth and just kind of like pulling in these loops a little bit. So here we go. We got a little tiny bow. And let me get... Yeah, I'm surprised that Stampin' Up! Hasn't come back out with scissors again. They, you know, when they're, what do you call it, who was manufacturing these scissors for them, um, yeah, they discontinued it because I guess the company went out of business. And so I'm really surprised they haven't, you know, come out with new ones by now. Now, Sharon, when you say that, is that because, well, I know that Arizona always followed that. Did Hawaii always follow that too? Or was this, because what has me kind of confused is that I thought, was it like last year or the year before that they talked about that they were going to do away with it? So, I mean, I don't know if that was like the final decision because evidently, you know, we had sprung ahead on our clock, you know, when spring was here and now we're falling back for fall. So I'm just kind of curious. I mean, you know, like when you talk about like Hawaii and now maybe other areas, is it just that other areas are now are no longer implementing it anymore, or was it always like that? Just kind of curious. I mean, for me, I'm fine with it. It doesn't really, it's when you spring ahead and you lose that hour of sleep. Okay, so we cleaned that up. Now let's get our little stars. Because these have the glitter on it, I just like cut the side of this packaging so then that way I didn't have glitter sticking all on the inside of this. So this is a passport holder. I got these off of Amazon, so they're a nice thick like vinyl. So I have all of my carded embellishments, well, my current carded embellishments all in these, and I do have a link for them below in the description if this is something that you would be interested in putting your embellishments in it. Okay, so I'm going to add 3 of these purple ones. Now, they don't have a specific color like, you know, was this Gorgeous Grape? Was it Highland Heather? They just have it listed as purple, black, and white. So we'll add another one there and then our teeny tiny one. And what's nice about these is that because these are foam, when you put it in your envelope, it's not going to be all bulky. So you don't really need to put like say a postcard or anything over it to protect it once you put it in your envelope. So that's good on that aspect. So let me just kind of get some of the stuff out of the way. So there's the first card. So very simple, just basically used all the designer series paper and then some of these punch outs as well. So you can make some really quick, easy cards um, when the paper has all those little elements that you can put on your card. So there's the first one. But it has a material, yeah, you know, that's exactly what's happened here too, Froggy. They always talk about it, and then it's like I really never know. It's like, so are we really putting our clocks ahead, or are we really putting our clocks behind? I never really know because I guess there's never really been a final decision on anything. Okay, so now the second card. I did this, you know, last weekend, so now I gotta remember what I've done. Okay, so this one has a lot of black, but then it also has like a pop of some nice bright colors in it. And also my card, it's different, as you can see on how I scored and cut it. So this time the card base, this is basic black. It's 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5. For the inside of my card, basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. And okay, and then this is a Summer Splash. This piece measures 4 by 4. I have a piece of Petunia Pop. This measures 3 1/4 by 2.5. I have some scrap pieces of Daffodil Delight. This is going to go behind the house, with the windows and the door and all that. Let's see, before I get to that, I got a piece of that Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. This piece measures 3 by 2.5. Lemon Lime Twist. This measures 4 by 1 1/8. And then I have, at a basic black, using the dies, I die cut the house. And again, like I said, this is going to go right behind it so the yellow shines through those openings. I also did a fence. And then there are 4 of these bats. And then out of that sheet of the punch outs, I have, there is like a double candy corn. So what I'm going to do with this, I am going to fussy cut around it so I don't have all of that white around them. And that's everything for this card. So for this one, I want to pull in, what is this one? I want to, well, see, I had Happy Halloween. So I want Happy Halloween, and then for the inside, I want Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. If it was only that simple, right? Don't worry, eat sweets, and that'll make it all better. Yeah, I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Do that again. All right, and then Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. Okay, and then I want to bring in this right here. And on my Lemon Lime Twist, I want Happy Halloween. And I'm going to do this in, and guess what oh no, I got it. I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Okay. And then Happy Halloween, I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. Like so. Okay, and then we'll put that aside. And then for the inside, we're going to take the Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. And we will stamp that right there. Okay, so that's all the stamping on this card. So let me quickly Froggy, you got the baseball game playing? Okay. Thank you for that, Sharon. Okay, so let me just kind of move those. I don't want, like if your stamps still have ink on it, somehow they managed to get on your light colored cardstocks. Oh, the game. Okay. All right, so I am going to take this, move this out of the way. Let's fold and burnish this. Okay, then I will take my inside piece here, get my seal. And put that on the inside. All right. And then we'll place that in there. Okay, so now let's kind of build up the top of our card. So I'm going to take my Summer Splash. So this is 4x4. This will go up on the top here. Summer Splash being a darker version of Coastal Cabana. And what's sad is that, you know, when this annual catalog retires, what is it, like at the end of May, then these set of colors are going to go bye-bye. So Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, is it Shy Shamrock, and what's the other one? I'm missing one. Ooh, what's the other one? Is it a pink? Oh yeah, Pretty in Pink. Yeah, all those colors will go away. And then we'll see what happens if whether or not they come back again when they do a color refresh, which I don't know when that's going to be again. Usually it seems like it's about maybe every 5 years. So we'll see. So my lemon lime twist piece, this is going to fit right down here. Now this card, I found this on Pinterest. And so this is a case off of a card that Dawn Griffith had made. I changed it up just a little bit to kind of make it a little different. So, but it's her, she does card layouts, and so it's one of her layouts, and then she had a sample card that was very close to this. Like I said, I just added a little bit more to it. So like the little candy corn, she didn't have that. The color cardstock she used fresh freesia. And I decided to go a little bit darker and brighter. So this piece is going to go down like this. And then this really fun print with all the candy on that gray background. Add that. And then I'm going to take this piece and add it right here. So basically going forward, like from November on, we're going to primarily do like Christmas. The only difference is next Friday, we're doing the fluffy squirrel only because, okay, if you know me, you know I love squirrels. They're my little buddies. And I have to use that bundle. But then yeah, for the rest of the year, it's going to be Christmas. Now, as we get closer to Christmas and we actually hit Christmas, then between then and New Year's, then um, that's where I probably may bring in the Advent calendar and make projects using that. And I still have not opened mine up because I'm actually being very good, and I'm waiting for when Yvonne visits again, because it's been a whole month since well, not really a whole month, because I saw her on Don's birthday earlier in the month, but I haven't seen her the whole month. She hasn't been here. So Yeah, so I'm gonna wait until she's here and then I will, then I'll open it up. Okay, so now on this house, this piece that I cut, what is it? Yeah, I don't know how to do it on here. Is that 1 3/8 by 1 3/4 inch piece. So I'm going to take, this is going to line up, fit kind of like right in here. So it'll go up to like the roof and it's going to cover up those openings. And then I have this little tiny piece of Daffodil Delight that'll go over that little circle up at the top. So I'm just going to go around because it does have these little slits in it. So I'm not going to put glue all over the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of go around because this will be popped up as well on the card. So I'm just going to add a little bit just to kind of hold it down in the back here. Okay. A little bit more because it started to dry. Okay, and then we'll add that right there. We'll turn it over. So what is it right now, Froggy, as far as so like who's up in the series? Because yeah, I'm neither of the, if it's not a team that I kind of root for or whatever, I don't really watch. The same thing with football. Um I will say when it comes to baseball, um yes, I'm from New York. At that point in time, it was the New York Mets. They they played in Queens. Queens is a borough, and that is where I am from. It's where I was born. And then there was a guy that I really liked, and then at one point he ended up on the Yankees, so then I liked him for a little bit. But when I lived in Ohio, it's Cleveland Indians. I don't want to hear this nonsense about Guardians. I do not like that name. The Cleveland Indians. And yeah, every time I used to make trips back to New York, yeah, I had all my car was decked out in all Indian stuff, and I didn't care that I drove right through the Bronx with all of that. That's the weird stuff that I did, but hey, I love my Indians. Okay, so Toronto 3-2. Okay. Because it's best of 5, isn't it? I think, if I remember right. So I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Becky, Die Hard Reds team. Well, the Cincinnati, yeah, that's not far from you. But they have gotten rid of our faves. One spot left. I didn't watch one. Best of 7. Okay. All right, so we have that. Okay, I'll take my paper backings off of this, but I do want to put my fence piece down before I put this over it. And let's not do like what we did the last week where I actually took the paper backings and then I stuck it to the paper. All right, so let me get my fence here. And then I want my tweezers. These are the tweezers from the embossing additions kit. So I'm going to add just a little bit just to kind of hold this down. Part of it's going to be under the house, so I think that's the end here that I got my tweezers on. Okay. And then let me kind of put where my, see, this is where, how do you do this when you're a lefty? So this is going to kind of go over, let's see, over here. And then my house is going to kind of go over it. Just kind of press that down. And again, you can also die cut this with the adhesive sheet on the back of it. And then I'm going to take my house and I'm going to put that right over here. And then for my ghosts, I'm going to bring in my little mini black dimensionals. Let me get all my bats here. Okay, and then let me get my take your pick tool. I find when it comes to placing these smaller ones, it's just easier to use this. And these just fit on these bat bodies. Okay. And let's add these. Yeah, like I said, the card that Dawn had made her sample, she used fresh freesia, so that being a little bit lighter. But since I had like Summer Splash and these colors are a little more bolder and brighter, that I decided that okay, I was just going to go with the Petunia Pop instead. Okay, and then we'll add one up here. Now, since I got the dimensionals only on the body part of my bats, one of the things I can do is I can lift up the wings a little bit just to kind of like add a little more dimension to it. And then this final one, I'm going to place this one right down here on this side. And then I'm going to take my my candy corn, and again, because I'm putting it on here, I want to kind of get rid of all of this excess white that's on here. So it's not too bad to fussy cut this, so I want to remove all that excess. Okay. And that. I wouldn't be surprised that give it a little bit and then all of a sudden it's going to be like really noisy out there in the breezeway and probably right above me because they're probably all out trick-or-treating. I know typically in apartment complexes they don't do that. I know a couple of weeks ago, I think it was on a Thursday, that they did do something where they had pumpkin painting, and then they had a bunch of treats and stuff like that for the kids. All right, so on the back of this, I want 2 of my little mini white ones. Put one there. Speaking of candy corn, you still got candy corn, Yvonne? Yvonne had gotten a lot of candy corn, so I'm just curious if she still has candy corn left. Is she still on here, or did she go and have dinner? And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to place these right over here. And then my ribbon. Okay, so what did I do for my ribbon here? I should have done this before I had put it down, but I can still do this. So I'm going to take my tear and tape and this little strip right here between the Summer Splash and the Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to add some of that there. Get my block. So then that way I can tear it right up against it. Kind of press that down. And just kind of give me this. This will work. Just kind of press that down. And then remove my paper backing. Let's bring in this ribbon. This really pretty iridescent ribbon. And I'm going to take scissors and let's get a straight edge on this side. And let's see. Kind of trim this down. Did you start to cut? Yeah, right there. Okay, so this should fit straight across. Stay put. Okay. And then we'll come straight across. We'll just press that down. Okay, and then got a little piece just hanging here. Trim that off. Little piece over here. This ribbon definitely does fray at the ends. So we added a little bit of ribbon onto this. And then for this one, we're going to use our black stars. Coming off of there. Put one here. There, and one more up here. So there is our second card. So I'm kind of put these little wings up a little bit. So there is our second card. Okay, so now our final card. We're not doing too bad as far as time goes. All right, so this last one, like I said, that when it comes to a suite of products, I try to use everything that is in that suite. So for this one, this is where I brought in those treat bags. Now this one, there's also going to be some coloring involved with this. Now, I think when I go to do the coloring, I'm going to change the coloring up just a teeny tiny bit on this cat. So I primarily am working with colors that are in the paper, you know, this in the paper itself. And so on this one, now Lemon Lime Twist, I don't think is a color that's in it. I think it's Granny Apple Green, but I kind of like the Lemon Lime Twist. So for my card base, this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of Berry Burst. Again, this color isn't in the paper. This measures 4.5 by 3.5. I have a piece of basic white for the inside of my card. This measures 5.25 by 4. And then I have another piece of basic white that measures 4 by 3. Out of a scrap piece of basic white, I stamped using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I stamped all my images in the black ink, and then I'm going to color these in with my blends. Now, on my sample card, I did most of the face using the dark pumpkin pie, and then the center part, you know, of the face, I used the light. I think I'm going to reverse that because this this cat is like, this is the sample card. That cat is really, that's a really dark orange for that cat. So I'm gonna reverse the colors on that. So, and then the treat bag. So what I do is I just trimmed on the 3 sides. So the other piece that I used is on my sample card, and then we're going to use that on this card. So what's interesting about this, if you kind of look at this, it has like kind of some stripy design on it, and it looks different with the different colors of cardstock that you put behind it. So the white, it looks like that, but if you put like another color behind it, it kind of changes it a little bit. So I tried like pumpkin pie, I tried Daffodil Delight. I tried a couple of different colors to see what would work good. So I just decided to go with the white, because I am going to take these stamped and colored images and I'm going to place it on top of this. So this is going to kind of be our designer series paper behind it. So what I'll put that aside. My card base, we'll go and we'll burnish that. Let's see. My white, okay, so on this one for my inside, let me get my foam mat. And in here, I am going to stamp, where's my stamp set? This one, I'm going to do the No Tricks, All Treats for the inside. So let me get my stamp off of that. And grab this one. Put that over there. And then this is going to be stamped in Berry Burst ink. And we'll do that right there in the middle. I like Berry Burst. Okay, we'll set that aside. All right. Let me bring in all of my blends. And let me get, well, I can do it on this. It won't really go through. So again, I have the light and dark pumpkin pie, light and dark Daffodil Delight. I have the light and dark Lemon Lime Twist, light and dark Petunia Pop, and then the light and dark Basic Black. And I think I'm primarily, did I use light? I don't know if I used light. I think hold on a second. I don't, one of them, I know I don't really need it. I think I used the light basic black, so I don't think I need that dark one. Okay, so we have that. Let's take this, put this inside our card. Put that in there, like so. Okay, and then what I can do before I color those, because these are the images that are going to go on top. So I'm going to take my treat bag, my piece of treat bag. I am going to add, let's see, how do I want to put this on here? I'm going to kind of go around the edges. Okay, and of course now my, see, it's those little fibers that come out of that Stampin' Scrub. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece right here. I'm going to place this down in the middle. And then I'm going to, let's see, I think maybe I'll fold the top and the bottom first. Just kind of pull that into the adhesive. Kind of pull this side. Okay, and then let me take my snips because there's so much of this on here. I am going to just cut some of this off at an angle. Cut it this way. Make it a little bit easier to kind of wrap this around. Okay, and this is definitely very staticky. Okay, and then we'll just take this and wrap it around. Just kind of pulling it a little taut. And then there is our background piece. So kind of cool, depending on how, and I'm freaking out the camera. Let's see. So Yvonne, I just watched a video a few days. Wait, so did she answer? Did you answer that question, Yvonne? Like, did you still have candy corn left? I kind of missed that. She says, I just watched a video a few days ago about how candy corn is made. At least the Brock's brand has no wax in it. Yeah, we got the wax bottles for the kids. Yeah, I remember those things. I could never understand that. Why chew on wax? Yvonne thought it tasted waxy, but never knew it had wax in it. If I buy them for others next time, I will stick to Brock's. Yeah, they're kind of like the better brand. You have a lot of candy. Do you get a lot of people trick-or-treating in your area, Terry? I can tell you that when I lived in the house, when I was in Midtown, yeah, I did not turn my light on and I did not do the whole trick-or-treating thing because I'm like, yeah, you know, it's nighttime. I'm not opening up my door. No, that's all right. Okay, so I want, for this one, I want dimensionals. So I'm going to add some to my corners here. And this will go on top of my berry burst. And I will also say that when it comes to caramels, the best ones are the craft ones. I love those. Okay. So let's take these off. Get off my fingers. Okay, and then this will get centered on our berry burst, like so. And then on the back of this is going to also get some dimensionals on it. Yes, you can make this as a shaker. You know, put your little bits in it and then wrap that around to kind of contain it. Okay. So we have that, so we'll kind of set this aside, or actually we can put it on our card base just to kind of get it out of the way, since we're not putting anything underneath it. Ow, let's not hit the light. Okay. And don't forget to add your name to the spreadsheet if you want to be in tonight's card drawing. All right, so this is going to be centered on our card base, like so. And if you get like fingerprints and stuff like that, I got one of these microfiber rags. Just kind of like wipe that off a little bit. Okay, so we'll take this and we'll kind of set that aside. So now let's bring in our images and let's go and color these. So again, with the cat, I'm going to change this up just a tiny bit. And I'm just going to reverse on the orange on what I did on this cat, because when I was done coloring, I was like, wow, that's a little much. A little much. Okay, and then we're going to do the center of the face in this. So, Yvonne, you'll probably get a chuckle out of this. So, but then again, I was not happy about this at all. So, so last Saturday, you know, it was, like I said, it was like all rainy here and it was cool. It was breezy. And so, you know, I go to use the restroom. Of course, you know, I live here by myself. So, you know, of course I'm going, you know, just leave the door open, right? And then it's like I kind of hear this sound. I'm like, what on earth is that? And I walked out into my living room and I looked, you know, I had my patio door open and I'm looking, Yvonne, there was a black cat literally hanging off of my screen. And I'm like, get, oh, yeah, I said a few things that weren't very nice. But anyway, this cat kind of like had disappeared, right? It had left. Well, then next thing you know, I come back here and then I hear, you know, cats howling at each other. Yvonne, Miles was being a little bully because the black cat was kind of cowering, you know, on the patio. And little Miles is a little gray kitty that Yvonne decided to name Miles, which is my friend's last name. So named him Miles. And yeah, he was sitting on the railing just being a big bully. And then it took a long, then when Miles ended up leaving, then the other cat ended up staying for a while. And I kid you not, that cat kept on climbing on my, I mean, literally hanging from the, what do you call, from the screen. I literally had to get to the point where I had to close the door and then even close the blinds because the cat needed to find someplace else to go. I don't know whose cat it is, but yeah, he eventually ended up leaving, but it was like seriously, I mean, I'm really grateful that my screen's not all tore up, but man, it's like, cat, get off my screen. I mean, if I had to replace the screen, I know how to do that. And it's fairly inexpensive to do, but it's just a point. Don't get off there. Okay, so the cat I did in the light and dark pumpkin pie. So you can see the difference on that face. I think it's a little bit better with that. It's not so dark. All right, so the black, I'm going to do like the little shoes or the little boots. Okay. And I think actually on our little Frankenstein dog, I'm going to do these little, whatever those things are, those little pegs that come out of the side of his face. All right, let's flip some of these things over. My pumpkins, actually, let me do my little pumpkin buckets here. And we'll do the light first. So the cat witch is holding a black bucket, but I'm going to take one of these buckets and put it right on top of that other bucket because I think these are cuter. Okay. And we're going to need that out. And then we're going to add some dark on that afterwards. So then let's take our light Daffodil Delight and we'll color in our broom. Kind of set that aside because I'll add some dark to that. Let's see. Dark Daffodil Delight. I'm going to take this and color his lollipop. Okay. And then let's see, what do we got? We have Lemon Lime Twist. So I'm going to take the light, I'm going to color in a little skirt here. And do this side. Okay, and then her stockings. We'll add some there. And then this side, it's not really going to matter because most of this is probably going to be covered up. All right, and then actually while I got this open, I'm going to color in the paws. And then we'll do his head. Trying to do this without going outside of the lines. So we'll leave that one spot around his eye. We'll leave that white. Let's do his ear. Okay, and then this will be his legs right here. Okay. And then let's see, we're going to take light Petunia Pop and we'll do her top. All right, and then we got these other parts of her stockings. So we'll add some of that in there. And then on his pants, we'll do Petunia Pop as well. All right. Let's see. This is a coffee flavored. Oh, coffee. Terry. Oh, I love my coffee. I like those. My phone is great. That should say me either, but for some reason I don't like those. Ooh, coffee ice cream. Yep, coffee ice cream make that a lot of times. Like when Yvonne's been here, I've sent her home with some coffee ice cream for Dawn. Yep, it's very easy. It's Deborah. So you're doing the trick-or-treating. Okay. Now, what's next? We want, let's see, we want our light pumpkin pie on his shirt. Okay, and then we got do his socks in light pumpkin pie. I think we got all our pumpkin pie colored. And then let's see, so we have these 3 colors left. And I'm going to do, let's see. Not do that one yet. Oh, I need my dark Daffodil Delight. We'll add some on that broom. Then get our pumpkins. We'll just add some along the bottom. Okay. And there's Tracy. All right, so we're going to add some of our dark pumpkin pie, kind of like, oops, I forgot to color his sleeve on this side. Got to go back and do that. All right. And let's see, I needed to do his sleeve. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, the dark lemon lime twist. Just kind of add some on here. And add some just kind of add some shadow on here. Okay. And I do need to finish his little lollipop here. I'm going to just do the swirl with my dark pumpkin pie. And then the dark Petunia Pop will just add some shadow here. Okay. So that's our coloring. So now I'm going to take, let's see, let's add some dimensionals on the back of these guys. Got a lot of stuff popped up on this card. Okay. You gotta love how that just changed that on you, Deborah. Oh, Deborah, I'm so sorry. Oh, wow, Deborah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's add one more here. And then I want, put one on his lollipop. And then we'll add one on his feet. And then we'll take a little one and we will put it on the back of the broom because we do want this kind of popped up a little bit. Okay, and then let's bring in our card base. And so let's take our Frankenstein dog. So how are you feeling, Deborah, after going through all those treatments? Are you doing okay, or is it taking a lot out of you? All right, so we're gonna take the guy right, put him right here. And then we'll take her and we'll place her right here. And then, let's see, then we're going to take our broom and I'm going to take my glue. Now, this is the part that I want to be really careful with because I don't want to go crazy with the glue because I don't want a bunch of glue getting onto my treat bag. So I'll take this, kind of press that in there and stop moving. I'll put her broom right there. And what I'll do for right now, I'll just take this and kind of hold that down. Okay. And then I'm going to take my glue dots and we're going to, where are they? So I'm going to take one. If I can get it picked up. Okay. All right, so now let's get a glue dot and I'm going to put this up higher on the handle part and are going to give him one right over here. And then let me get this one. And then I'm going to take my glue dot on this one and I'm just going to put it right in the center of this because this is going to go right over the one that she's already holding. So we'll put this right there. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of embellishing on this. I still need these. Okay, so this time with the ribbon, I'm not going to tie a bow, but I'm just going to tie a knot. Okay. And we'll tie our knot like so. And then we'll need another glue dot. Kind of wrap that around a little bit, and then this will go right up on the top right here. And then let's get our scissors. And we'll trim this down. Okay. So that part's done. Let's get rid of these glue dots because I have managed to make a big mess over here. Okay, and then final, we're going to take the white stars this time. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these. Let's see, add this one right there. And then one more right over there. Okay, so there is our third card. Let me just get these put in here so we don't end up with glitter all over the place. And put this back in here. Okay, so there is what is that? My one boss at work said we are having a party in January after the year I've had. I told him it will be a retirement party. He said no one said you can retire. That's funny. Yeah, I actually got told by a coworker. I mean, he's in Indiana, and so he's part of that group that I kind of support. And yeah, he made a comment. He told me, "You're not allowed to ever leave." He wasn't too happy when my former boss had left. He goes, we're kind of like, getting through this together." And it's like, yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell him that, yeah, I'm just about done. I'm just like so done. Okay, so just kind of tidying up a little bit. Actually, why did I throw my card in there for? All right, so let me bring in the card. So here's our first one. We just basically used the designer series paper. The paper does have these panels that you can trim down. Now, I didn't have to trim this down at all. The size is like 5¼ by 4 when you just cut out that panel. And then I just used those printed die cuts on here. So this one is just very quick and easy, just basically using the designer series paper and the little punch outs. And then I just added a little bit of embellishment to that. And then our second card, this is a case off of what Dawn Griffith did. This is one of her card layouts. I just changed it up a little tiny bit, but This is my version of it. So we kind of got our brighter, darker colors that just all work together very well. And then here's our final card where I kind of use that the treat bags that come with this suite. Just kind of cut on the seams of the three edges and basically created my own background paper. Now, it will look a little bit different if you use different colored colors of cardstock behind that. So yeah, I just tried a few different ones, and I figured since I was coloring these in that I just stuck with the white behind it. But yeah, it just kind of changes color a little bit. I don't know how well on here, but yeah, it's pretty cute, you know. I kind of like it in person. So there are the three cards. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tidy up just a little bit. If you would like to be in the card drawing, I do have pinned up at the top um, of the chat box. There is a link. If you click on that, it will take you to a Google spreadsheet and add your name to it. It doesn't matter if you're here in the US or not. I can mail cards anywhere. It's just product I can't send anywhere. Also, if you are not a fan of Halloween, and what you can do is you can choose, well, not so much with this one, but choose a layout that you like. And what I'll do is I will then create a non-Halloween card for you. I did that last week. Froggy had won a card. She chose the card layout, and I created a card that was absolutely not Halloween whatsoever. Colors were not Halloween, and yeah, so I will do that with the understanding that, you know, not everybody does Halloween. Okay, and remember the PDF in the description just above the list of supplies is a link to my Google Drive again, and you can what do you call it? You can download this and print it out, and yeah, so there's all that. So I'm kind of tidying up just a little bit so I can bring everything in. Put that down there because I have to bring in the what do you call it? My laptop. All right, so let's see what we got here. There's Carol. Hello. All right, so yeah, we're just about at the end, Carol. We're doing the card drawing. So let me see who we got. Also, will make mention if you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And I know most of you all here that are watching live, you're already subscribed. Um, okay, so I only got Froggy, Becky, and Terry on here. Who else wants to be on this list? You kind of move these down a little bit. Who else would like to be added to um, the list for the drawing? Deborah, okay. Anybody else? I got Becky, I got Terry, I got Froggy, I got Deborah. It doesn't matter. You're here, Tracy. You're here. I can add you. You were here before I finished up. So yeah, if you want your name on there, let me know. I'll add your name. Where did Vaughn go? Did she go and have dinner? Or did she fall asleep? We still live? Is this thing still going? My thing's spinning. Okay, I see my hand. All right, so Tracy. Is Sharon on here? Did I say Sharon's name? Sharon, would you like to be added? I think I don't see Yvonne on here anymore. Okay, yeah, for some reason I looked at my screen and my thing was spinning a little bit and I'm like, no, 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 we're almost done. Let's see. This, I got my pen and all my little sticky notes. All right. Who else was there? Sharon, do you want to be added to the list? Okay. All right. So I don't see Yvonne. I think Yvonne, did she go to eat? 'Cause I didn't see a comment or whatever. It's been a while. Okay. So right now I got Froggy, Becky, Terry, Deborah, Tracy, and Sharon. So going once, going twice. Is there anybody else? Well, we got you, Terry. We got you. Okay, let me unplug this. Let me kind of move these lights out of the way so it doesn't glare on my screen. Whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to knock that. And let me bring that in. Okay. So I should have done this before. Hold on. Try to do this way. Control. Whoever invented control, copy and paste, they're a genius. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so there's all our names. Let's just make sure that nothing else was said. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's spin, let's get this going and we'll get it done because now we are at the just about at the 2-hour mark. Okay. Deborah, you're our first winner. Whoops, I keep knocking into things. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to. Let me put that there. So would you like the first, second, or the third card? And do you want it to be Halloween or do you want something that's not Halloween? Number 2. And Halloween's okay for you? Or do you want non-Halloween? Okay. Next. Tracy. Got a lot of sticky notes with names on them. Number 1. And Halloween is okay with you, Tracy? I think it was. Okay, so now our final card. These little guys right here. Terry. All right, let me pull out Terry's name. Yeah. Carol. Yes, I got a lot of sticky notes here. There we go. All right. So we got that. Tracy, Halloween is a Halloween card okay for you? Terry, same with you. Is Halloween good for you too? And you wanted 3. Cool. Let me kind of get this out of the way. And then we'll kind of wrap up here. So again, our the joining special for the starter kit, today is the last day for it. I am working on my newsletter already. I got stuff on there. I pulled out some things that I'm going to already work on for November. So I do have a monthly Christmas card inspiration card that is already done, and it's kind of scheduled to post tomorrow morning very early. So the new winter scenes stamp set, it's a standalone stamp set that is an online exclusive. So I'm using that. Next Friday, I will be, well, this coming Thursday, let's skip Thursday. I'm going to be using the Perfect Blend stamp set. So that is that individual like sketched coffee cup with 2 different greetings. And I'll do this fluffy squirrel bundle next Friday. And then, yeah, Friday the 14th, that's when I'm going to do that gingerbread man bundle. And then Friday the 21st, the Perfect Garden, that's the one with all the blues in it. I got all those projects done, so I'm just going to use the ones that were going to be for the class that I didn't have in person. And then our last Friday of the month, I'm going to do that Traditions of Christmas Suite. I think right now, I think the designer series paper on that is still on back order, but it should be back, I think, in time by the time I go to do that. So yeah, the newsletter, like I said, I got most of that all put together. I kind of seen what the 2 new kits are going to be that are going to be coming out, and they're kind of cute. Um, what else? Again, there's the PDF, the free PDF. The link to the Google Drive is down below. And then let's see, is there anything else? If you want to receive my newsletter, the link for that is in the description. If you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when another video posts and when I go live. So yeah, this weekend is gonna be a weekend. There she is. Where were you, woman? You didn't say nothing. I think she fell asleep. But everybody, so have a wonderful crafty weekend. Temperatures here are cool, so it's nice and comfortable. Tomorrow I do have to go clean the church, so I'm gonna try and get that done early so that I can come back, do more crafting and getting ahead of the game. That's working for me now. And yeah, and so I know everyone don't, but happy Halloween. And also don't forget tomorrow night before you go to bed, be sure remember to take those clocks that don't automatically change and bump them back an hour. And I think that's it, everybody. So thank you for joining me tonight. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.